Here's what's coming up next on the Create Happy Now podcast with the return of one of my VIP guests, Bill Bruner. Bill is all about joy, so much so he wrote 300 articles on the subject and a blog called Journey to Joy. Bill is a good friend of Deepak Chopra, and today we discuss their philosophies on reality and visualization.
Because life has a way of knocking us down because of the things that are required in it. You know, we have to have a job, we have to make a certain amount of money to survive, we have to do this, we have to do that. And so it'll take you away from what you can really do. So if you can bring back some of that wonderment, if you can start to be excited about everything that comes into your life, then you can start to create the life that you really want.
Welcome to the Create Happy Now podcast, dedicated to helping you start your journey to discover true happiness. Join me, your host, Susan Blanton, weekly as we explore the transformation stories and words of wisdom from our masters of happiness with tips you can start applying today to create happy now. I have Bill Bruner back, and I want to tell you a little bit about him. He has an award-winning blog called Journey to Joy, owns a travel agency called Heart and Soul Excursions. Bill enjoys helping bring joy to people any way he can through hundreds of articles on the topic to helping people find the perfect getaway with a personal touch. Bill interestingly knows Deepak Chopra personally. He's a professional actor performing in multiple venues, including stage performances, TV commercials, and radio shows, to mention a few. He's married to my childhood BFF, who I consider my forever sister, who Bill claims to be the one who brought him into his self-discovery when she just suggested stapling pillows to the wall so he could hit his head against it since he did it so much. Wow, Bill, that's an exciting life.
It's been a wonderful life. It's been a wonderful life. I just wish I would have learned what I needed to learn at a younger age. So Heidi, my wife, was very tolerant in the early going when we first started dating, and really gave me the opportunity to figure things out, which I never had when I was younger. I was a very bright kid. I've been tested as high as 170 IQ. So I used my head in the beginning to figure out ways to get through things. Didn't really find true love or true inspiration, just found ways to do things better and quicker than other people. So I kept moving up the ranks in different businesses. And it was never satisfying because it was never really what I wanted or what life was about. So in the early 90s, I went back to my first love, which was theater, and I met Heidi at a theater in Kentucky. And as we got to know each other and become friends before we started dating, we talked a lot about different books and things to read to try and improve our lives. And she gave me a book called The Return of Merlin by Deepak Chopra.
Oh, yeah.
Really changed my life. It showed me that anything was possible. I've always liked Arthurian legend. I wrote a term paper in college that they used for an example for people after I left about La Morte Arthur, which is the original script of the Arthurian legend. So she knew that, so she gave me this book, and it just opened my mind to understand that the life that we're living in isn't the life that we need to live in.
Now, what do you mean by that? And explain Arthurian, because some people may not know what that is.
Oh, King Arthur. So a lot of people, even though it's probably old at this point, they've seen several movies on King Arthur and Merlin and Lancelot, or they might know the musical Camelot.
Okay, gotcha. So now you had mentioned last time about the vision boards, and you explained how that worked. Can you go into that a little bit about how someone can do that for themselves?
Yeah, I really encourage people to give this a really good try, because it's one of the easiest ways to change your life profoundly, and that is to build a vision board. It doesn't matter how big or how small it is. What matters is that you put things on there that you want in the future. Um, Whether they're words, whether they're pictures, whatever it is that inspires you, so that you can spend 5 or 10 minutes in the morning or 5 or 10 minutes in the evening to really focus on those things, feel them, and then allow them to happen naturally through time. It takes time. And one of the easiest things to do is to get discouraged because you don't see progress right away. But if you keep at it, you'll start to see little signs that will help you take action towards the things that you want. And then over time, you'll look back and you'll go, wait a minute, this is what I was envisioning 5 years ago. And now it's all happened.
Absolutely. I heard a story about this one man who he had a picture of his dream house on his vision board. And I don't know, maybe 5 years later, he was unpacking and pulled out his vision board, and the house they moved in was actually the house that was on his vision board. And he just kind of connected the dots and was like, wow, that's powerful.
Well, and that's kind of what happened to us. So not exactly the exact same house, but we put in 2007, we put a picture of a mountain cabin home on the vision board, and we focused on it, and that's where we live now, in the mountains of Colorado. So
Right.
things happen.
Absolutely. It does happen. You know, a lot of people think it's just a bunch of woo woo, and it isn't. It really is not. I've got about 3 vision boards going on because I've done these exercises with my teams, and you know, I'm having to make a new one because I've accomplished a lot that's on them. So I got to start and think of some new stuff to go after. So I wanted to also ask you, we had talked about this before when we had chit chatted before, but what is reality? Let's dig into that.
Yeah. So that's a big question, and that's a big question that most people don't understand. So, you know, Deepak believes, and I prescribe to the fact that there really is no reality. We create everything that happens in our lives, and everything that we do is through our own perception. So there is actually no reality. Our life is not what happens to us, it's what we create.
Yes.
So it's the taking the time to understand that mind shift and opening yourself to the possibility that everything we do ultimately creates what we want or don't want in our life.
Absolutely. And, you know, a lot of people live lives reacting to life.
Yeah. And that's not the solution. The solution is to be present in the moment. And a lot of people really don't understand that concept. But I always like to do it, and I wrote a blog about this many years ago. Think about when you were a child.
Yes.
And think about how you would walk outside and see a flower, and you could lose yourself for half an hour or an hour just looking at that flower because it was so wonderful, and you were so full of the joy that that flower brought you.
Yes.
It's the same thing as we move forward in life. We lose that wonderment. We lose that willingness to believe in magic, possibilities, because life has a way of knocking us down because of the things that are required in it. You know, we have to have a job. We have to make a certain amount of money to survive. We have to do this. We have to do that. And so it'll take you away from what you can really do. So if you can bring back some of that wonderment, if you can start to be excited about everything that comes into your life, then you can start to create the life that you really want.
Well, absolutely. I mean, we're always mulling over what happened in the past or worrying about what's going on in the future, but you're not living in the past and you're not living in the future. You can only live right now in this very moment, and you might as well enjoy it. Right?
Yeah. Right. And the past is the big thing for most people, because most people have something that's happened to them in their past that they're not happy about, and they get hung up with, if I would have done this differently, if I would have tried something different. You can't change what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? All you can do is move beyond it. And the way there's a simple way that I like to do, if it's involving something from your childhood or from a person that you knew or something like that, I like to write a letter to the person or to the event that happened. Yeah. Get everything down, how you felt, and the way it makes you feel still to this day. And then I light it on fire.
Oh, that is so powerful. And that's a great way to just kind of put the past and bury it in the past and let it go. And I've been a part of some ceremonies where you take it and you put it in a balloon, and the balloon takes it away. Of course, we don't like to put balloons in the air that much anymore, but just something to just kind of release it and let it go.
Yeah, and that's what it does. I mean, actually watching it burn and turn to ash, at least for me, released what I was feeling and made me feel like now I could move forward.
Well, I think sometimes when you are in the process of your journey, you have to mourn what was in some ways, because it was a part of your life that brought you to this very moment. And you just have to go, well, I can't stay there anymore. I must move on.
Yeah, a lot of people have always asked me that if I have regrets in life. And I've simply answered them that I don't know that word, because everything that I've been through in my life has gotten to me to be where I am now. And I like who I am. I like where I'm at. If you take any piece of the past out of me, I'm a different person. So I have no regrets, because I don't want to change anything, because I like where I am.
Yes, I've had a lot of people say that even the bad things that had happened to them actually helped form them into the best person they are today, and that sometimes that's hard for people to swallow or accept.
And it's in that acceptance that you move beyond it. I mean, that's the thing, is you just have to realize that no matter how tough it was, no matter what you've been through, it's made you a better person because you went through it, and you're on the other side of it now. So now you can create what you really want in your life to get back to reality. It's up to you. You're the master of your own life.
Right. And you can get to a certain point where those pains and scars in the past are just, it's just a story like you're reading it in the book. You don't feel it anymore. You just recognize that it's there, it was there, and you learned from it, and it's not holding you down anymore.
Yes, absolutely. And once you move beyond that, like I said, then it's about moving out of your head, because the head is attached to the ego. So the brain, the more we function thinking wise, the more we're tied up with our ego. And the one thing I always say about the ego is that it's insatiable. It'll never be satisfied. So you can tell yourself, I want to be an Academy Award-winning actor. If it's all ego-based, even when you receive that award, the ego is going to say, well, now I want something else. That wasn't really what I wanted. So you have to learn to move away from the mind and into the heart and soul.
Right. I mean, if we balance our mind and our body and our soul, it's really powerful. But we also have to know which of the three's job is the job of happiness. And it's not the head, which a lot of people think. It's not the body, which is, just pleasures. It's the soul and the connection to it and the alignment and the authenticity of who you really are is where the key to happiness is.
Yeah. And if you take the time to go into that deep dive and start to understand your feelings and who you really are and how connected the world
Oh,
is,
yes.
it's amazing the way you can change your life. It's just amazing. And people don't want to believe it because they think it's too simple. And the truth is that it was never meant to be hard. It was meant to be simple so that we could all have the life that we want.
Absolutely. We've been chasing our tail, and when you actually do find it, you're like, oh, it was hiding from me all this time. It's been right under my nose. Right under my nose.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that power that you have comes in the ability to create your future. And the vision board to me is just one of the tools that you can use to get you through there. We talked a little bit last time about the idea of letting go. And that's one of the hardest things that people don't get. They get what we'll go back to Academy Award winning actor. Okay. You want that statue. They get tied up in that's what I want. And that's all they think about is that's what I want. And they think that they can direct the way that it's going to happen. And that's not the way it works. The way it works is you think about that this is what's important to me. This is what I want. This is how I feel when I get there. And then you just allow it to happen naturally. Mm-hmm. And it will happen. It's hard sometimes. And people that I know that I've talked to over the years get very frustrated early on because they don't see things. And, in today's society, everything is meant to be instantaneous. Mm-hmm. This takes effort. This takes time. But the reward at the end is incredible.
Right. And the thing is sometimes people think, well, the award and the recognition and the credit is going to make me happy. And actually, even whether you get it or not, if you do get it, then it's a fleeting moment. And then you're back to, but if you had done what you felt what you were in alignment with, because it gave you your purest joy, then the award is irrelevant. Because you already got the award internally from the joy of experiencing it rather than the recognition or the award. If you get that, then that's just gravy.
That's right. That's right. It's the process, not the end result. And that's why you need to learn to let it go, to understand that it's that process, the process that you can't control. The process that happens naturally when you put yourself in a creative state so that you can move to things that you want in your life. It's sometimes difficult for people to get, but it's the way that the universe or God works, is that we have to internalize, we have to feel the way we're going to feel at the end of this, whatever it is that we want. And we have to just let it happen naturally. If we try to control it, if we try to make things happen the way we think that it should happen, we're not going to get there. We're going to get somewhere else.
Be happy first, and then the rest will come a little bit more easily, right? And I think that too, if you do find a way to have that connection, that intuition, now you'll be led better, and you'll see those opportunities to get to what those things you prefer and you really would like to have, not from a sense of lack, but just to explore and expand and grow, right?
Yeah, I always like to use the example, and it's funny, I think it was in one of Deepak's books that I read many years ago, but the example is that I decided I want a red sports car. So you put that out there, and all of a sudden in your life, you see red sports cars everywhere.
Absolutely. Yeah, that happened to me when I was, looking for a car, and I kept looking at the same car, and everywhere I saw, I'm like, these are all over the place. And next thing I know, I was driving one. So yeah, it definitely works. So how did you get to know Deepak Chopra?
We got to know each other through Twitter.
Oh,
So back in the day, when Twitter used to have some good conversations, I'm not on it quite as much as I used to be anymore because it's gotten to be a little more commercialized than I like. But yeah, he used to talk to him, and I still am one of his friends. Which I think I think we looked the other day. I think he's got over 3 million followers, and he's got 750 or so friends, and I'm one of
oh,
them.
nice.
He's read a lot of my stuff. We've talked off and on about some of the stuff I've written, so it's been good. I met his daughter Malika because she started a website for a while called intent.com, and I was talking to her quite a bit. And Heidi and I went out to California, I don't know, about 6 or 7 years ago, and we were trying to arrange meeting, but it never worked out timing wise. But she told me at the time that I have often been the subject around the dinner table at their house.
Well, how about that?
A little bit.
Wow. I was in the process of doing his 21-day abundance practice, and that was really interesting. And I would like to do it again. Maybe sometime in the fall.
Heidi loves the meditations he does with Oprah.
Oh,
So there's 21-day meditations on different subjects, and I don't know, I think they're about 15 minutes long. And
they're pretty decent. Yeah. So, well, thank you so much, Bill, for gosh, I love the deep conversations, and I definitely was so immersed. I wanted to give you an opportunity to let the listeners know where they can find you, either if they want to set up a trip or if they just want to read some of your articles.
Sure. So the blog is still out there. I still write in it occasionally, not as much as I used to, because there's about 300 ways to create a more joyful life. And I told myself when I started writing it that I was going to keep it brief so that it was an easy thing for people to do first thing in the morning. So it's about a 5-minute read daily. And it's Journey to Joy Timberwolf123 at blogspot.com, which I'm sure you're going to put up the link somewhere for them to find. And I, either through the blog or through even my travel business, I'm always available to talk to people and try and help them to find joy in their life, because it's very important to me. The travel side of things, you can sign up for a weekly email with travel deals no matter where you are in the States or Canada. That's the two places I can sell, is the United States and Canada. And you can go out and find that. And the website is heartandsoulexcursions.com.
All right, great. So I'd like to include a quote of, I think you've got one that you've created. Can you share that with us?
Sure. So the fun thing is, if you follow me on Facebook, I write quotes, I won't say every day, but I've probably written 3,000 or 4,000 quotes out there. So this is one that I came up with to do with what we're talking about. So within you is all the power you ever need to be exactly who you are. The trick is to believe in yourself, know compassion, and always stay present in the moment.
Oh, that's so good. That's so good. I mean, if you just read that every day for 21 days, I think that would make a difference for sure. So what is your quick happy hack for the listeners today, so that they can kind of start their, that they can take it home and apply it today so they can create happy now?
Yeah. So, my hack really is to take the time to create this vision board. That's the thing that's going to help you change in ways that you didn't know you could change. So take time, don't rush into it. Take time and create this vision board so that everything that's on there, whether it's a word or a picture, means something to you. And then take the time to look at it every day.
Oh, yes. Yeah, stick it in front of your face or by your bedside or at work. Don't just put it in the closet, for sometimes even when it's in the closet, it's still working. But when you've got it in front of you and you're looking at it, you can't help. I don't care if it's across from the toilet. Um, you know,
No, that's right.
look at it every day, and it is impactful. I've got lots of things on mine, and I'm already checking off some. So it really works. It really does.
And I love doing it in the evening before you go to bed, because you actually can create things to happen while you're sleeping by doing it at night. It actually is easier to release and allow things to happen through your dreams and through your sleep than it is sometimes through your day.
Another powerful thing you can do is similar to that is write a day in the life of your future self, doing all those things that you want to, or being who you want to be in the future. What it's like to be in, your dream house, or the lover that's ideal for you, or anything like that. That is super powerful because you're writing it down and you're really internalizing it when you handwrite it. Yeah. So that and the vision board is.
Yeah. And I think the other thing that's important is to always come from life in general, is to come from a place of service, to worry about yourself, to think about how you can help others and do things for others. And that place allows much more abundance and much more joy in your life than you'll find otherwise.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining me today, Bill. Oh gosh, this one was a really, really good one. And I really can't wait to come out to Colorado and see both of you and spend some time with you and reconnect with Heidi and get to know you more face to face. And it's definitely going to happen for sure. So,
okay.
Thank you so much.
It was great talking to you.
Thanks for listening to episode 19 of the Create Happy Now podcast with Bill Bruner. If you liked today's episode, please subscribe, rate, and review, and you can receive a free meditation by yours truly by going to the link in the episode description as my thanks to you. On our next show, Nancy Matthews will be back. Nancy Matthews and I discuss how she discovered how to be happy over 30 years ago and how it led to the book that she wrote called The One Philosophy. Catch Create Happy Now on YouTube with podcast recordings and additional videos. Keep a lookout for Create Happy Now Facebook group, courses, books, and more. If you'd like to stay on top of Create Happy Now creations, subscribe to the podcast and YouTube channel so that you can start on your journey to create happy now. You can also find Create Happy Now on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, Podbean, Stitcher, Deezer, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio.